honestly, I was getting ready to go to sleep. I had a long night. I was basically like, getting things done, but still, I was not expecting to see this right before I was gonna go to sleep. So you guys can see right now that I'm on the Bandai Namco Entertainment Southeast Asia YouTube channel. I'm actually on the page, right? You can see, well, you don't see my mouse, but it's hovering over like a lot of these, which is why you're able to see like, the history and like the add to queue stuff. However, if we go over to playlists, they made a massive mistake. If you look right here, I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can clearly see it. Right here, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. So, and of course it shows the trailer for Age 1000. So yes, this is officially put on their own YouTube channel, which means they made the mistake. Hey, look, it is what it is at the end of the day. It looks like Dragon Ball Game Project Age 1000 is going to be Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, which personally speaking, I'm excited for. Like, I am very excited for. Like, actually, let me see if I click view full playlist. Yeah, it straight up says Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. Like, I don't know how they managed to make this happen, but we're getting Xenoverse 3. Now, it seemed pretty obvious given the circumstances of how the trailer was portraying what was going on. We have a character that we've never seen before, alongside them being tied with Capsule Corp, and with the game revolving around Age 1000. We know that the Xenoverse series covers all, well, I mean, not to Age 1000, obviously, up until, well, Xenoverse 3 drops, but still, it covers the timeline for Dragon Ball. We're starting from like, actually not even starting, like they've covered Age 737, which if I recall correctly is Bardock, and obviously past that point. So when it came down to them saying Age 1000, the first thing that popped in my mind, well, okay, in truth was Dragon Ball Online, because that takes place in Age 1000, but it's also Xenoverse, right? Xenoverse, the entire premise of that, that whole series is protecting the Dragon Ball timeline, right? It involves people going into like the past to like correct certain events that might have been altered or whatever the case may be, to make sure that things play out exactly as they were originally supposed to play out, right? So yeah, it's interesting because the Dragon Ball, or not Dragon Ball, sorry, Bandai Namco, when it comes down to any of their accounts, don't make these type of mistakes when it comes down to naming the like certain games or like whatever IP it may be. They don't make those mistakes. So when it comes down to this, I think we can say with our whole chest, it's going to be Xenoverse 3. There's no way in the world they're going to put this on an official channel with an unofficial name. They don't do that. So it looks like Age 1000 is going to be Xenoverse 3. Now, I've waited a very, very long time for this because, again, Xenoverse 2 has been out for almost 10 years, which I guess we can also assume that DLC, I believe it's going to be 21. But the next DLC pack for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, where it's going to conclude with, chapter 4 with like Fu and all that stuff, is going to be the actual end of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, which again sounds so weird because it's been going on for so long. But I think we can now surmise that will be the end of Xenoverse 2 in terms of story. I'm pretty sure they'll probably like update the game here and there, maybe like, fix a few things or whatever the case may be, maybe add a few like customization stuff, but eventually they're gonna migrate all over to Xenoverse 3. And at that point, that's going to continue the story. And I think this actually works out well too, because of the fact that before we got the, huge event that happened earlier, last month was it? We didn't know what exactly they could have done with the Xenoverse series. Like, we know why certain types of representation is not in the Xenoverse series, specifically Dragon Ball, right? Like, we know their reasoning as to why they're not in the game, but now, seeing that we're getting an entire continuation for Dragon Ball Super, we can start getting those characters in the game, or in the series, I should say, too. Like, we can see Moro, we can see, eventually when they get to it, right? We can see, like, Granola, we can see, Maris, like, we can see other characters as well. Like, there's now more things that they can cover when it comes down to Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. Not to mention that when it comes down to the likes of Dragon Ball Daima, there is a ton of characters missing. So that's already like a good portion of characters that can be added into Xenoverse 3. Like again, Xenoverse 2 has a ton of characters, but characters that are missing, we don't have any Super Saiyan form for Goku Mini at all in Xenoverse. We don't have Vegeta Mini at all. We don't have any of Vegeta Mini's Super Saiyan forms either. We don't have Super Saiyan 4 Goku Mini. We don't have Goma. We don't have Tamagami's 1, 2, and 3. We don't have Ku. We don't have Du. Like, there's so many characters missing from Daima alone that can be added into this game, right? Alongside other characters that should have been in Xenoverse 2 that are, okay, some that just straight up aren't, and then others that technically are but aren't playable. Like Second Form, I don't understand why Second Form Cell is not playable when he has a model in the game and you can fight against him in a specific story event with, I believe, Oolong in the game. But either way, there is more content to be added into Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. But I think the main thing with this is, with it being set at age 1000, what exactly, like, or not even what exactly, how exactly are they going to continue based off of that story? Remember, with age 1000, the only official Dragon Ball media that we have concerning that age is Dragon Ball Online. The events of Dragon Ball Online take place in age 1000 as an officially established thing. So I would assume that either this will be, it could be like a spin-off story of everything that's happening during that time. It could be a type of retcon of sorts. That's also possible, because again, with Dragon Ball Online, the main villain of that entire thing was Mira. Again, Toa's also in that game, Fu's also in the game, but again, Fu's a baby. Toa's like doing her thing, but the main villain is Mira. In the Xenoverse series, Mira is dead. So is Toa, and Fu is an adult. So, like, they're gonna have to make changes by default to try to make it work, because again, it's gonna have to take place with some of the things that happened in Dragon Ball Online, or at least to my understanding of how like the ages in Dragon Ball work. Like, there has to be retcons, of course, but that's like there's I'm just excited. I'll just be like that. I'm just very excited to see how they're going to handle Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. I'm shocked that it got leaked like this, but it doesn't like change the fact that I'm very excited to see how this is gonna actually play out. Like, I mean, the trailer that they showed us was really, really nice. It looked great. So imagine like all the cool things that we can get with this game. Finally, after a decade, we're getting a new Xenoverse game. Like, remember, Xenoverse 1 to Xenoverse 2 was a year apart. Actually, I think it was actually less than that, because Xenoverse 1 released in 2015. Xenoverse 2 came out in 2016. There was a very short gap between the releases of those games. And now, Xenoverse 3 is coming out. We have Unreal Engine 5. Like, we've had so many, like, there's been so many advances with technology at this point that I generally do expect Xenoverse 3 to be an incredible game. Especially if they do decide, this is just me personally, you guys don't have to agree with this, but if they decide to rebuild everything from the ground up, because to be fair, with Xenoverse 2, again, Xenoverse 2 is a fantastic game. I stand by saying that. I still play it to this day. But when it comes down to certain like animations, and when it comes down to like certain aspects all around about the game, it could definitely be improved for sure, especially to today's standards, even graphically, right? So I would like to see what they could do if they, rebuilt it from the ground up and, presented it as a new game. As long as it keeps like that core essence of the building blocks of Xenoverse, while also trying to give it like a fresh coat of paint, if you will, I'm all down for it, right? And especially if they're able to make online better. This is no secret. I've said this on multiple videos, streams, you name it, right? When it comes down to the Xenoverse series, the one thing I don't like is the hit detection. That's like my biggest gripe. I mean, there's cheese builds and all that stuff, right? And like, you're gonna experience that really in any type of like a game that has character creation. It just is what it is, right? But my main thing is, if I hit you and you're not blocking, I expect that move to connect. I think some races that really suffer from that, would be Saiyan. Well, actually, Saiyan male specifically. Like, they really suffer from hit detection. But still, I hope that with this game, that resolves all those issues. So that way, if we land combos and you're actually, wide open, they connect properly. That's another reason why when we got DLC characters, if they had vanish combos, I was worried. And when I tried them out online, they would almost always, sometimes it might have worked, but more often than not, they would almost always drop. So I'm hoping that they fix all of that. But still, there is so much to look forward to and so much to speculate about concerning Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. I don't know why this happened today, why they leaked it, but I'm not gonna complain. But either way though, I do want to know what you guys think about Dragon Ball, I guess, new game project Age 1000 actually being Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.